What's up, guys? How are you? Repeat back, and we're starting a brand new week. It seems like the line is the same, but the track changes. What's going on, man? Like I said, start of a brand new week. This week, NNR is split between two tracks on the Xbox side and Charlotte Motor Speedway over on the iRacing side. Tonight, we kick it off with the trucks, as always. They're going to take their turn around the Monster Mile, see who can evade Miles the Monster the best and come on home to victory lane and end up in the booth to talk about the race, talk about their strategy, talk about the W or second or third and what second or third could have done better to take that first spot away. Man, talk about the first spot, talking about the booth. First of all, in the booth, the one and only Expert Racing. And we're going to have a little bit of a special guest as well. Old Cinepew is going to be live in the booth. He's going to have a little bit of an extra look and to prepare for tomorrow night's Xfinity race right around 8:30 Eastern. NNR Monster out there in chat saying, hey, what's up? Hope you enjoy the race tonight. Mama Vols, good to see you as well. Commando Grip saying, top of the evening to you, Pete. Where'd you finish in your Bristol race? I think it was 11th, if I'm not mistaken, Commando. Thanks for asking. An unknown user, the Mrs. Expert, out there in chat. So, Expert, concrete mile, bank like Bristol, little bit like Iowa that we were talking about just last week or the week before. Yeah, it was last week. Man, all these tracks and weeks are kind of running together. But man, not too shabby whatsoever. How are you, man? Welcome to a new week.
I'm doing great. Definitely excited once again. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's Dover. It's counted as an intermediate track, but Pete, trust me when I say this, we're going short track racing again tonight. These guys, the tempers have been boiling. We've seen guys get suspended this past week from stuff that happened last week at Iowa, and expect some stuff to possibly carry over into Dover. It's 3 weeks in a row of basically short track racing, bumping and banging, side-by-side action. These guys are going to be extremely aggressive, and what raises it up even more is we're 3 weeks away from the playoffs with this race here. Only Texas and I believe Darlington separates us from that cutoff point, so a lot of guys are going to be battling for those playoff positions.
Absolutely. Truck and Xfinity this week at Dover. The Cup Series is going to be at New Hampshire because they ran Dover earlier in the season, and then you just called it right. Texas next week, followed by Darlington, and then it's the top 12. Those are the only ones able to go for the that coveted NNR championship that so many people want. I mean, they say if you can get a championship here in NNR, you can get a championship anywhere. And man, over the last 2-3 years of broadcasting the races for these guys, I have to wholeheartedly, maybe a little biasedly agree. But either way, man, I love these guys. Love the show that they put on. It's going to be one hell of a race. And yeah, Cinepew, you're racing tomorrow night with the Xfinity guys. Again, they're going to kick that off right about 8:30 Eastern under the leadership of the one and only J-Pa. If you're watching this race tonight, what are you looking forward to? And is there any truck driver out there that's kind of got your eye for that W tonight?
Oh boy. Big thing for me tonight is trying to watch and see. I know the bottom is going to be most dominant, but I want to see if some of these guys can make the high line work, getting that run off the corners. But tonight, like you were saying right before this, I think if Cape has got a good starting position, is able to keep his truck going throughout the long run, short runs, whatever they have tonight, I think he might have a good chance as long as he stays clean and doesn't get involved in any wrecks.
Yeah, Cape absolutely looked very, very solid in qualifying, so we'll have to see. But, man, Expert, you've also got guys like Spoiled Milk. You've got TGMBs. You've got Tenacious. You've got Bossy Geo. You've got the overall points leader, Old Bowling. He dominated this track earlier in the season, so we'll have to see what he's going to be able to do. I'm going to go ahead and grab your invites right now. In fact, let's see. Expert, if you wouldn't mind, can you please send Cinepew's his?
All right, Centipede, just send me a message. Of course, the gamer tag's always the same.
Alrighty.
Let's see, or let me see if I got you here right quick.
You got him?
Check.
Let's see.
Yep, I got you.
Alrighty.
These days, I never know exactly who is and who isn't on my friends list, but I should have known better, right, Cinepuse? All right, so on the on that loading screen, still looking at that fantastic shifter that all those pro leaguers got. Combat Beast, what's up, man? That's right. Yeah, you're tomorrow night as well. See, all these different people, all these different drivers, all the different leagues, all the different personalities flooding my head all at once. Combat Beast, good to see you. Thanks for coming out, bowling out there as well. He's throwing on the shade. Let's see. So let's go through the field as we always do. Looks like it's going to be the 24 of Krabby Soup in that Hooters Chevy Silverado on pole. 2 is outside. The guide's forever fast. 99 of Shadowlack. Always in the spot that he needs to be or close to it when the time comes. 38, there it is, our points leader. 38 of NNR bowling. The 21 of Tenacious. He just threw 100 bits out there. Thank you very much, buddy. There you got the 20 of Spoiled Milk, another guy that I just mentioned. The 00 of Boss EGO, just talked about him a little bit. The 88 TGM Beast, look at this. It's always like the top guys rising to the top. Mike T in that 52, I think that is. The 16 of Classic Stu, good to see him. The 23 of More Than a Cape, there he is. 78 of Blue Shirey. 3-car of NNR Monster. 51 of our series admin NNR Swats. The 98 of old Papa Bear, good to see him. 13 of Garrett, and we are back up top. Now, Expert, they're coming under this bridge going to 3 and 4. That tunnel, that bridge turn is very, very tight when you're talking about coming full speed. And then right about this bridge here is where they let off just a little bit, let that truck roll, get it down to the bottom. But oh, by the way, when you do that, don't wear out your right front because that can cause problems. Track is very abrasive. Right about here, you're really thinking about your exit and how fast that wall is coming. But here we go, bud. Take us green one more time.
And here we go once again. Krabby Soup pulls out to the lead, and NNR Bowling's going to take advantage of that third place starting position, moving himself up into second. Krabby Soup has pulled away a little bit. Contact in the back. You've already mentioned it, how dangerous that turn 2 exit can be, and that's already affecting NNR Bowling. These guys already fanning out, getting single file now. Guys looking for any bit of room they can find right here as Krabby Soup leads us to the first lap here at Dover.
Yeah, Krabby Soup with a very, very close number, 99. Carolina up Ford F-150 of Shadowlack. Behind Shad, I believe I just saw the 21 of TGM Beast. Behind Beast is going to be the, it's going to be the 00 of Boss EGO. Boss is another one. He's missed a couple weeks, but when he's here, he is up and in your face. He took a win just a few very, very short weeks ago over, I believe it was on the Shadow Racing side, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he got the opening win, locked that win in very, very early for a pair of tickets to possibly go to Daytona in August for that series. But right now, Cinepuse, the top 6, all pretty much, or top 5 anyway, all pretty much nose to tail, coming off of 2, heading down the backstretch right now.
Yeah, definitely. The 24th Krabby Soup, he had a pretty good lead these first couple laps, but these guys are definitely starting to catch him, and kind of looks like in his first couple laps, his truck's a little better on the short run, but it'll be interesting to see how, as the run progresses, how his truck will perform.
Well, you talked about the 23 of Cape. Maybe if he can stay out of harm's way, he might be all right. Just got a little bit of a bump from the 88 at TGM Beast. It was purely just a racing thing. And Cape, yeah, he lost a couple of spots, but he's not too far off. Expert, looks like the back half of the field, I'm seeing a few, dive bombs into these corners. You got to get into the corners aggressive, but at the same time, and as I mentioned when we were taking our pace lap, you cannot dive it in too much because you will wear out that right front. In fact, so much so, riding along with the 23 Capes on board to help us with laps and all that, which now shows 37. That right front's already down to 80.
And that could be an issue, especially looking at the crew chiefing side of things. That's going to cause a lot of problems for these guys going down the stretch. But I will say from my time, you won't wear it as much if you got somebody on your outside.
Yeah.
And expect a lot of that. These guys are going to end up taking 4 tires and making them 8 tires at some points during the night. Once again, we're short track racing. Expect these guys to be using up other guys. There's going to be a lot of contact tonight. You can see it right there already in the beginning between More Than a Cape and TGM Beast. These guys know what type of race they're getting into. For this being an intermediate track, these corners drive a lot like a short track. We've said it time and time again, and it's proving itself pretty evident right now.
Absolutely. Track that is exactly like Bristol, all concrete, but double the length. Same, I believe it's the same amount of banking in these corners, but the straightaways, well, if you want to call them that, because they're completely cockeyed also, very, very banked. That's why another reason they call those places self-cleaning track, because if you hit that outside wall, you will bounce down to the inside wall, and usually that is what takes a lot of guys out in real NASCAR. Here, you just go down pit road, you fix what you got to get fixed, and you go on back out. Yeah, it causes you to fall back in traffic a little bit, but at the same time, you're back in it in pretty short order. And man, it might be able to save you, might not. They don't always get back to 100%. Cinepuse, watching these guys right now and the lines that they're taking, still very, very early. With any practice that you may have already run in preparation for your race tomorrow night, or during any seat time here in other leagues, have you found anything special, or have you seen anything special that might be able to help you tomorrow?
Oh boy. Oh god. Really, the main part about this track, because it's definitely a little bit tricky, coming out of turn 2, you got that hump, and it kind of throws you off a little bit if you don't take it right. But definitely coming into the corner, you want to absolutely hit them perfect. One false move and you can be hitting the apron, and it'll throw you right up to the outside wall. So these guys are definitely looking really good right now, and definitely looks like the inside line is just going to be the most dominant. We saw a couple moves on the outside here early, but it's going to be an inside line dominant race. As you see, the 21 at Tenacious, he's pulled out to a pretty good lead here. As you see, NNR Bowling and who else is this? Cadillac. These two are battling for second place, so be interesting to see what goes on here.
Yeah, I mean, the Bowling and Shad, they have found each other very, very often throughout the season, and that's pretty much the reason that they're sitting, I believe, 1 and 2 in the overall points. I mean, Bowling, I hate to say it, but I think he's probably pretty much got a lock on the championship with still, 8 races to go before we crown that champion. We touched on it earlier. We've got Texas next week, and then Darlington the week after that. After that, it's just 6 more races in each series to crown each individual champion. And the points that Bowling has been able to accumulate throughout the season are just phenomenal. Expert, as looks like we got a battle by Bowling to the inside of Shad right now, side by side. This is either going to help Tenacious, or if that 38 gets in front, which it looks like he is, he might be able to now pull that 99 up if he's that much faster.
And that's going to be the idea. I think that's why the 99 basically said, okay, I'm going to let you go, because this is going to be a point that he can try to follow Bowling and try to learn, hey, how is he faster than me? Is it just tires, or is it a different line? And then also he can hope to be able to draft up there with him or follow that line and be able to gain some speed to pull himself up there to try to catch that 21. Something to look out for, though, and a big reason why I believe the 21 got up here. You said it earlier. This track is very similar to Bristol as far as banking, and it's a bigger version of Bristol, I should say, in which these guys are able to spread more out. But the one guy that dominated Bristol the guy that taught even our good friend Tian Voles how to run Bristol. He placed second in the Truck Series there when we were there just a couple of weeks ago. But this guy, Tenacious, right here, I love to call him the king of Bristol. He knows how to run these style of tracks better than anybody else, and he's proving it right now, being able to dominate above guys like NNR Bowling. That is no small feat, and he's gotten out to a pretty sizable lead.
Absolutely. I mean, he is all the way on the middle of the backstretch, heading into turns 3 and 4 right now. And no, I'm sorry, he was on the front stretch there, going through 1 and 2. Now on the backstretch, yeah, you look back, he's even gapped, I think, maybe even a little bit more of a gap than he had on the 99. But as you see, since that Crossley Ford F-150, Bowling's been able to get by the 99. He's pulled away. So there's about an equal distance between the 21 and the 38, and then from the 38 back to the 99. But behind them, as they come off the corner, you see no one. So huge gap all the way back to 4th place. Just now, as Tenacious started thinking about getting into turns 3 and 4, you saw a car just now coming off the corner. So he has a whole straightaway back to 4th place, Cinepuse.
Yeah, definitely. It's just been a 3-truck pull away from this field. It's going to be interesting. I think these 3 are going to be the ones to watch this whole entire race, unless they get a caution, which rarely happens in all of the NNR series. Going through pit stops and everything, I think you'll definitely want to watch these 3 for the whole race. I might have to change up my pick for the winner of this race.
Yeah, Cape definitely looks like he was struggling just a little bit. Expert, I don't know if I asked you if you had a favorite for tonight, or do you just go with the favorite that's been around all season?
Well, of course, I'm going to make my pick at the end of stage 2. That's how we've always done this. Got to put the Larry Mack cap on and everything. Got to get the whole setup going. But I mean, it's going to be It's going to be a pretty obvious pick, I think, after stage 2, especially if that 21 keeps his dominance up. That's who I'm looking at right now. But like you mentioned, the guy that already has one hand on the trophy, how can you vote against him? I mean, he's pulled through time and time again at all sorts of different type of tracks, in which it looked like the only weak point he ever had this season was on dirt, and he wasn't even bad there either. So, I mean, it just shows how good that number 38 F-150 Crossley machine is. But, it's going to be a fun battle. He's catching that 21 right now. Once he gets up to him, I think that'll really decide who we could see as probably the dominant truck here today.
Yeah, last time keeping up with both Swats and that 51 Rowdy machine and the CMRroofing.com Silverado for the 23 of Cape. They just came across the line again, and in the time that you were talking about all that, they completed 2 more laps. Still in stage number 1. Nobody's gone down pit road yet, as we start to see people coming on the apron. No off turn 4 pitting this week. Everybody's gotta bring it on down to the apron going into turn 3 to make sure that they leave the track for the drivers, especially since this is predominantly a low line track. But pit stops well underway, first time of the night, and just about 16 laps remaining here in stage 1, Expert.
Definitely, and our leader led them down pit road, that being the 21 of Tenacious. The 38 of Bowling has taken the lead, and he's going to stay out for at least 2 more laps here as he now makes that dive to get on pit road. He's going to try to get it woed up to pit road speed, but these guys already looking for the best pit stop. So we saw a number of guys already go in. A few guys still staying out, more than a Cape, like we mentioned our onboard tonight. He's going to go in trying to get it woed up as well. Pit entry is going to be very similar to what we saw at Iowa last week, in which these guys were entering off of 3, and it's going to be very crucial on how much speed you can carry through pit stops. We saw it, and I mean, I'm referencing it a lot, but it was just an amazing sight for all of us to see how much KFB gained in the NNR Xfinity Series off of just 1 entry compared to his other peers on the racetrack. I mean, your pit entry is going to be huge, especially here at Dover.
Oh, yeah. You've got to be very, very careful getting down on the apron, especially with worn tires. It's going to want to break loose under when you get on the binders. So I mentioned I was kind of curious whether they were going to be able to go the full fuel run on that right front or that right rear, depending on which they were using to get back on, traction. And when Cape just went down pit road, he still had two laps of fuel left in the truck and about 19% on that right front. So he decided to err on the side of caution. He still had a bit on that right front, but I'm sure he was keeping an eye on just what it was wearing per lap. So I gotta give credit where credit's due, and that's to the 23 to come on down, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, fill it up with just the amount of fuel that he needed, which is only 1 can, as we now got 14 laps to go here, Cinepuse.
Yeah, definitely. And because of these green flag pit stops, the 21 at Tenacious ended up pitting a couple laps earlier than some of these guys. And as you see, Tenacious and Shadowlack, they've pulled out to a pretty sizable lead over NNR Bowling, but they've been on the track just a couple laps more than Bowling. So I'm curious to see if these fresh tires that Bowling has got, seeing he stayed out a little bit longer, if he's going to be able to catch these guys coming into the closing laps of the day, which it looks like he's doing pretty quickly.
Yeah, one thing that Bowling does very, very well, when he's got to make up a gap, he goes full bore. He will push that truck to its limits and then some. I've seen him get loose. I've seen him almost wreck, getting too tight, going up and slamming that outside wall. But the 99, he's still got a little bit of a draft from that 21, but it really looks like Tenacious has that thing dialed in. Their first round of pit stops, only the pit road a lot of time to make any changes. Cinepuse, I'm going to ask you, in your testing so far for your race tomorrow night in the Xfinity Series, in that short 14 to 16 second time frame, what amount of adjustments are you actually able to make on pit road? And if it's only like your wedge or only your tire pressure, maybe a click of tape, where do you start, knowing that the end of the stage is coming up and you'll have a greater 40 to 45 seconds to make any other changes?
I think you have a short amount of time. Definitely with this first run, you really get a feel of what the car or truck is really doing. So you started on a tighter preset, but it's starting, you still coming loose. I would personally do a couple clicks on my tire pressure and a little bit on the wedge, just to get through that first pit stop till you get to the end of the stage, just to also see how my tires are doing, how bad they were. So yeah, I think tires are gonna be, for the most part, I don't know everybody else's plan, but for me, definitely gonna be mostly tires coming into that first pit stop.
I tell you what, we were wondering whether Bowling was going to be able to catch up to that 21, and in the amount of time, well, yeah, check this out. 21, he's keeping that bottom line. He's not going to allow the 38 to get up there or get underneath and take it. The Bowling's going to try it on the outside, but expert, do you think he's just saying, you know what, I'll try this outside, see what I got. I've got the tires to do it. He can't quite get the same run that he can on the front stretch here on the back stretch, but man, he is all over the outside of that 21. HG Motorsports used to say in most of the broadcasts that I did with him, if he's in this situation and he's Bowling is to his outside, he's doing everything that he possibly can to keep him pinched down to the bottom. So he cannot get back in the throttle when he wants to, and where Bowling can. So the 21, he's stuck on the bottom, can't get in the throttle, can't let it wash up towards that outside wall, and that could be what he needs to do to get on by the 21. But right now, man, Tenacious absolutely holding our series leader in check. Next time they come on by, I'll go ahead and grab a lap count. When they went down pit road, I believe they only had about 14 to go as Cape comes off 4, passing the grandstands, passing the condos, at the line, 4 laps remaining. So your battle for first really heating up here, Expert.
Yeah, and as the leaders now cross the line for 3 laps remaining, it's going to be a question of desperation on what Bowling wants to do. Of course, he wants the stage win, but it's going to be a big question on what he's going to be able to do. He's going to try to look low here. That 21's going to pinch him down there, not allow him to get underneath him. It's going to be a battle of how much room you give at a track that is this small for being an intermediate track. Bowling's going to make that outside move here with 2 to go once again. Side by side heading into turn 1. Like you mentioned right there, pinching him down. It's going to force Tenacious to get on the seam and try to control a loose truck off the exit of 2. Here we go. Side by side, a little bit of contact. We're coming to the white flag this time by. 21's going to clear him off of 4. 38 looking low here for the crossover. 21's going to pitch him. White flag here. 1 more lap to go in stage 1. 38 looking high once again. He's going to see if he can pinch him off the corner and build up a run. He's all over that back bumper. He gets contact with the outside wall. 21's going to try to clear here in 3 and 4. One last attempt.
You got exactly one last attempt for the 38, but the 21 does a masterful job coming across the start stripe to end stage number 1. Great job by a Tenacious Z. And I think Vols actually talked about the 21 very, very early this afternoon. Said you're going to have to watch out for him. In fact, I think when he said that, it was actually in a Discord chat with Bowling, and Bowling said, "Hey man, do you remember where I finished in the first, or I'm sorry, in the beginning part of the season? Oh yeah, I finished first." We're gonna take a quick little break, ladies and gents. We'll be right back.
Hey NNR fans, are you looking for a way to rep your favorite NASCAR Heat preset league on Xbox Live? Look no further. Just go to nnrleague.com, scroll down to the Zazzle tab, and see what we have to offer. From t-shirts to hoodies to clocks, we have everything you need to show your support. Thanks for being the best fans, and we hope to see you at the track repping that NNR red.
All right, we are back. As always, anytime we take a quick commercial break, talking about nnrleague.com and the Zazzle tab for all of your NNR merch. You don't miss a thing. Going back, green's going to be the 21, 38, 99, and the 20. The only person that is different from here is that 24 of Krabby Soup. He finished P4, now restarting at about P6 in the back half of the field. Absolutely getting jammed up by 1 or 2 trucks, tagging that outside wall. Expert, that just spread out the field huge for about the top 8.
Yeah, now contact in the back, 23, 16, 51, 88, 24, it looks like. Yeah, actually, correction, 52. 5 trucks involved in an incident, maybe more as well, as many guys spread across the front straightaway with damage, and we're under caution here at the beginning of stage number 2.
Yep, first caution in the race that is not part of the stage break that we all just had. So they all just got racked and stacked back up. Now back, taking the green. Some people made contact with the outside wall. Maybe some people think in Cinepus that they had to get while the getting was good. They've all got the brand new feel goods. They're full of gas, ready to go. And man, you gotta make those moves while you can still make it. Definitely want to say a big thank you, of course, Expert, to you. Thank you very much for the 21 bits. But also Blake Jones, 1767. Thank you very much for the follow, sir. Welcome to the home of NNR. All right, so here we go one more time as Kate comes across the line. I'll go ahead and grab that lap count. Expert, 21, one more time, go.
Once again, 21-38 side by side. It's like deja vu lap after lap. And right now he's going to try to clear himself. And talk about deja vu. Here comes that 20 spoiled milk. He was a dominant factor last week at Iowa before chaos started last week. And he was up here battling with NNR Bowling. So we could definitely view that 20 as a threat down the stretch here, as he is all over that back bumper of that Crosley F-150.
Absolutely. Syracuse 21 in the lead, 38 right behind them. They're pretty much kicking it off right where they left off with stage number 1. Now 36 laps remaining, just starting off stage number 2. Top 3, top 4, top 6 right now. All week in and week out heavy hitters. Do you think now with the chance to make some bigger adjustments with the stage break, and oh, by the way, that caution, where they got between 35 and 40 seconds to make their bigger adjustments, as we see some more contact. Not quite sure if that was some lag between the 38 and the 20 or not, but here comes the Carolina Nut Ford F-150 of old Shad back up to P3.
And when you were mentioning the adjustments, I'm actually going to disagree with old Centipede. In my mind as a crew chief, what I'm looking at as far as adjustments, the first thing you're thinking about, correct the tape, correct the wedge. And if you're going for tires, fix that left front. That will fix the balance of the truck temporarily, so you can fix the rest of it later on those bigger stops. And once you get those adjustments in, like you mentioned, you can see the change that it has had for guys like NNR Bowling, who is now going to take the lead from that 21. We saw the 21 pull away with stage number 1, and you can see what adjustments can do for a driver there as the 38 takes the lead.
Yeah, 38's taking the lead. Syracuse, that 21 was just shoving Bowling all the way down the straightaway, getting into the corner, maybe trying to push him beyond his safety limits, beyond his let-up point to get into the corner. These two breaking away just a little bit. Third and fourth, they're in their own little click. Fifth and sixth, their own little twosome there. And then you've got the pack a little bit further back. So are we seeing trucks that are kind of like-minded as far as adjustments to their truck? Or do you think we're actually, it looks like we're actually going to be under a manual caution here. Fry Dog, what's happening, man? So, yeah, under a manual caution, which means somewhere in the back, 2 or more trucks have gone around, but the game didn't capture it. So, Swats makes the admin call to allow everybody to come on down pit road. But, Syracuse, what did you see there out of that little bit of a run with the 2x2 action that we had? And no, by the way, we're not talking about side by side. It was the 2138, 20 in the 99, 24 into the 16, and then a whole lot of cars behind them. Are we seeing the different levels of talent, or are we seeing maybe the trucks that are kind of built the same?
I don't really think it's the level of talent. I think what it comes down to is pit road adjustments. A lot of people can win and lose races off of the adjustments that they can do. As you saw, the 38 and the 21 were definitely having a really good battle. The 38, in my opinion, it looks like he's got a little bit of a faster truck. So we're going to see what happens coming back to this restart after this yellow flag. But it definitely looks like Bowling has his stuff down with his pit adjustments, and I think he's got a good setup, and I think he might be able to pull away after this caution right here.
It's absolutely possible. We haven't seen that 38 yet in real clean air. In that little bit of a run right there between the game caution and now this manual one, the 21 was all over his tailgate. He was not going to let him go. So we'll have to see. It was the 21 pressuring him because he wanted to kind of take him out of his comfort zone, such as pushing him all the way down the straightaway, pushing him till just about the breaking point of getting into the corner. Anything's possible. Just playing a whole lot of games. We'll have to see. Syracuse, thank you very much for both sets of bits, man. Definitely appreciate that. The 38 that you sent before in honor of old Bowling out there, and then just now that 100. Definitely appreciate you. But we're racked and stacked back up one more time. 38, 21 to his outside, 99, and the 20, I believe, of Spoiled Milk, and the 16 of Krabby Soup. I'm sorry, no. That's the. What was that? That's 70. That's 78 rather. With Bossy Gio to his outside. So getting ready to go one more time. 21's going to try to get that high line moving. 38's got the line down low. There should be a little bit more momentum on the outside, as we saw the 38 carry earlier. Expert going to the 3 and 4, lap 1, turn 4. What do you got, buddy?
And here we go off the exit of 4. That 38's going to pull with the momentum. 21 still staying there on that quarter panel, though. Watch for him to try to pull some type of a crossover as he tries to look under that 38. 38's going to be able to block that move right here. The 20 all over the back bumper. The 21, though, big question here is what can they do to not let that 38 pull away, because they certainly do not want that to happen, as the 21 has already lost about a car length, but is looking to make that back up, as we have a little bit of lag in the lobby as we have finally hit, or shall I say, we have unfortunately hit the infamous bump.
Yeah, not too bad, though. I did see the 20 kind of shoot to the inside right quick, but I think that might have been after some contact with the wall. Luckily, though, he still had a little bit of a gap back to the 99 of Cadillac. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to P5 and P6. And then again, there's that gap back to 7th and further in the field. But here we are. Cinepus, the 38 now has a little bit of clean air on the front end of that Ford. He's got the 3 trucks right behind him. They're not able to keep right on his tailgate like they were just before that manual caution was thrown. And oh, by the way, Commando Griff out there in chat says 21 better make a few adjustments because that 38 is hooked up. So I gotta agree. We'll have to see if the 38 has that truck on rails like he's seen so far, to try to really be able to pull away. But right now, Expert, it really looks like the top 4 about equal. But then again, draft plays a little bit of a factor in it.
And that's going to be a huge factor, especially if that's a big way for that 21 to be able to hold on to the 38 and the guys behind him to do the same. We know that 20, once he gets hooked up, he can be up here for ages trying to battle for the lead. Same thing with that 99 of Cadillac. We've seen the strength of all top 4 guys right now throughout the season, and you can't really count any one of these guys out. Of course, NNR Bowling has been dominant this year, but like I said, the competition has just grown throughout the season, and the guys that have came in and put their mark not just in the Truck Series, but we've even seen it in the Xfinity Series, and I believe a caution's actually out.
Absolutely. I hooked up with the 16 of Classic Stu. He was able to get on by all that, but absolutely, a couple trucks just went airborne, and going to be all kinds of damage. I think the guy that caught the most out of that, if I'm not mistaken, was the 13 of Garrett. He absolutely just shot up, pirouetting into the sky, coming on back down, landing hard. I'm sure he's looking forward to this trip down pit road. Unfortunately, it's not the record for him because you are able to fix it. Again, we're not talking about iRacing here, where he would have already used probably his first, second, and 10th fast repair. But, man, these guys doing everything that they possibly can. Cinepus, we're going to stack them up again. 38 on the inside, 20 of Spoiled Milk, 21 and the 99, followed by that 00 of Bossy Geo, which had broken away from that bigger pack a little bit further away. He was starting to run these guys down. We might have a new player to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, definitely. For a couple cautions ago, when we saw the 2x2x2 racing, we didn't really see it that much. In that last run, you saw that 4-truck pack. So I think it's a couple of these guys are starting to get their truck dialed in. And I think you're going to see a couple of these guys, especially Bossy Geo, they might be able to give NNR Bowling a good run for his money coming into this race. As you saw a little bit of contact right at the restart, giving Bowling pretty good sizable lead into these first couple laps.
Yeah, Bowling, he's got about a good, 3 or 4 truck length lead back to the 20 of Spoiled Milk. And then, of course, you see the 21. He's been there. Bossy Geo down low all the way on the apron. That is not going to be good for the grip on that 00 machine. But it looks like it might have been a little bit of lag there also. And it looks like our second manual caution is now out. Everybody filing in behind the 38. Now, they were just down pit road. This amount of cautions for an NNR truck race is kind of weird. Normally we will see maybe max 5 cautions. We're already at about I think we're already I can't talk now. Already at about 5, including the first stage break. So, is it just aggressiveness? Is it the tight corners coming off of 2 and coming off 4, or is it we've only got 2 more weeks before the playoffs? That's starting to build in their minds as well. Anybody have anything for this 38 now that he's got that clean air?
And that's overall, that's the big question. He's going to stay out. A lot of guys are going to go in. I believe the 21, the only truck to stay out with him. Do not quote me on that. Of course, there's going to be a lot of other guys. I believe that 78 may have stayed out as well if he's on the lead lap. But the rest of the field's coming in, so only 3 guys staying out here. Is going to be a big question on what they can do going forward in this race. Of course, with about 16 laps to go in stage 2 and the constant cautions, that's going to throw a wrench into the strategy. But once again, it's going to be a wild one coming to the end of stage 2.
I sent out a tweet earlier talking about the race tonight and the race for tomorrow night with the Xfinity Series being both here at Dover and the Cup Series at New Hampshire this week. And I mentioned who is going to be able to avoid Miles the Monster the best and park in victory lane. Well, you know what? Commando Griff just out there in chat said it as plain as could be. It's Miles the Monster. So Miles coming down, wrecking havoc amongst these guys, and doing everything that he's got to do. Sometimes we see the winner up in Miles the Monster's hand. It looks like a die cast sitting there or whatever. Will it be a wrecked race car this week? Will any of these guys get out of here mostly unscathed? We've seen Bowling hit the wall. We've seen the 21 hit the wall. We've seen quite a few people tag that wall either to the outside, or after they hit the outside, they've come on down and hit the inside, going back to that whole self-cleaning track kind of thing. But, man, Miles, he's got a hell of an appetite tonight.
I mean, it's been a while. He's not, we're not going to have the Cup race here. He's just trying to stockpile. He's trying to get ahead. I think that's what's going on right now.
He's got a little bit of a chipmunk to him, I guess. Stocking up for the winter. I get you. Feeding him those nuts and bolts in his case. So, 38-21, we're going to stack him back up. 78 of Blue Shirey. He's waiting and waiting and waiting. He's all over the back bumper of that 38. 38 looks like he's going to go ahead and call the restart zone. He's your control car. This could have been a great break for that 78 of Blue to get a very, very good stage finish. Looks like we got about 12 laps remaining. Here comes the 78. Big old shot to the back end of that 78 Gatorade machine as the top 2 really starting to pull away. I think Blue might have just been holding up a few of the others behind him. But, there are a couple of different grooves here depending on how you've got your car set up. Sinapuse, are you a start low on the preset scale kind of driver, or do you start high and tighten it up or get it to just about neutral, find that happy medium throughout the night?
At first on to NASCAR was really believing loose was fast, and loose is but going into the long.
I'm sorry, bud. I don't mean to interrupt you. Can you unplug your mic and plug it back in? You kind of, you're probably too young to remember who I'm going to mention here, but you kind of sound like Max Headroom just a little bit. But yeah, it's very, very broken, kind of robotic. But Expert, back through the field, with everybody stacked back up right now, riding along with the 98 of Pop Bear, as he sees a wreck between Cape and one other right in front of him. Cape is about the only one that actually gets caught down on that inside line so far. Yep, that is actually going to bring out a caution. 10 laps to go. These guys absolutely driving for everything it's worth tonight, Expert.
And you're going to have to. We're 3 weeks away from. There can be no love lost between these drivers coming down. You're fighting for positioning right now. You're fighting for a chance to win that coveted NNR Trucks title. And a lot of people say, oh, it's just trucks. I mean, come on. We want to go after the real prize in the Cup Series. Here at NNR, this truck series has gathered some of the best and had some of the best recruiting to get a lot of the top guys in all of NASCAR Heat League racing to this point. I mean, this is the best preset racing league we have seen in my 5.5 years of league racing and commentary. I can clearly say that this is top notch. So all these guys are gunning for a truck championship, and it means a lot more than what some people would think for a lot of these guys. And trust me, it is going to be a very passionate and aggressive racing style we see out of a lot of these drivers coming through these final few weeks.
Absolutely. Centipede, we're going. We are. Well, I'm not saying going. We are back green. The 38 to the outside. Here comes blue to the inside with a big dive. A little bit. Looks like 38 might have tried to pinch him down just a little bit as they come across the line. It's 5 to go. So 38, he's out there on old tires. But then again, oh, guess what? So is Blue Shirey. Now you got the, let me see, you're going to try to get back up to our top. There's the 88 in this pale blue or sky blue, baby blue, whatever kind of Ford that he's driving, sitting right there in P number 2. Beast has been one hell of a competitor, both in Turn Down for What as well as Shadows Racing League. Again, Turn Down for What races on Saturday nights, Shadow on Sunday afternoons. But yeah, Beast, he's got the point for himself now with about 3 or 4 to go. Do you think he can hold these guys back? I don't see the 38 inside the top top 4. I'm seeing some new players trying to battle it out and grab max points for stage 2. 3 laps to go.
And that's going to be a big question because NNR Bowling actually got involved in a wreck. And now even more contact up here in the front. The 21-20, a lot of contenders all around. A lot of guys involved in this one. The 00, the 52, the 98. So many trucks involved in that incident. And I believe that might be the end of it. I think we may have NNR SWATs as our stage winner.
How about that? The seas parted for the series admin. NNR SWATs able to go on up and grab max points for stage number 2. What you saw there was everybody really battling it out and not enough time to check up and maybe avoid that. They just piled on in. You saw the 21 get in there, get slideways, and a whole lot of issues right there. As Expert throwing out 51 bits, saying congratulations, SWATs, and thank you very much, Expert. So we're going to stack them up one more time here for stage number 3. And we'll see just how long this stage is. Now we got the 23 at Cape. I'm going to guess maybe he forgot to pit. We'll have to see if he pulls on down. But there's SWATs in that Rowdy Energy Machine 2 is outside. 21 and the 20 is spoiled. Nope, going to be your top 4. And it looks like 109 laps here for stage number 3.
And 109 laps, and you can already see how wild it's getting near 3 wide for the lead here. And it's going to be able to close down pretty quickly. Now it looks like that 20 is getting pushed up from there, and a lot of guys getting pushed up. Now TGMB's getting pushed up, and those guys getting rowdy, fanning out down the front straightaway, still side by side for the lead. 21 looking to try to make it 3 wide. Instead, he's going to push the series admin out to the front. And these guys are going crazy already here at the beginning of stage 3.
I absolutely am excited to see what SWATs is going to be able to do. He's got nothing but clean air on there. No dirty air to force him up towards the wall. He's shown to have speed. I've seen him lead in practices and qualifying and whatnot. I've seen him have fast trucks, but he always seems to get collected or has an issue. Right now, he's able to keep the 21 right behind him. So far, so good, but he's not up front all that often. Doesn't have a whole lot of experience leading, at least here in the NNR Truck Series. Yeah, he can lead the series as the admin. He's got Cody's trust to go ahead and be able to take care of the Truck Series as a whole. But actually being up front, blocking for the lead, trying to keep people behind him, and hitting his own marks, not really doing a whole lot of mirror driving is not something that Swats really has to do week in and week out. So far, he's got a couple laps under his belt here, Cinepuse. Swats is looking pretty strong right now.
Right now, I think Cinepuse has actually exited the booth. I don't see him right here, but one thing is that one thing that I didn't do after stage 2, I know I'm lagging behind a little bit, but I'm looking at something. I got to put the Larry Mack cap on for the prediction. What's the one thing Larry Mack always loves? It's got to be the trends. It's got to be what keeps happening over and over. And something that keeps happening over and over the past few weeks, that 20 finds its way to the front. I'm going to throw a little wild one out there and say the 20, he's going to pick himself up an NNR truck win tonight. Right there in Chad Spoiled Milk. Expert's prediction for this one.
How about that 20 bits by Expert for the 20 truck to make it into victory lane. We'll have to see if he can avoid Miles the Monster and come on home for the W. Looks like the 21 is able to get on by the 51. Looks like the 20 is going to go ahead and follow suit. Here comes a few others, and it really looks like right now Swats is being hung out to dry. Everybody else on that bottom line just moving on by, able to find a hole right there in P3, so didn't fall too far back. So we're going to keep on going through the field, just now catching up with the double O of old Bossy Gio. Again, showing up yet another week to prove that he can be a contender. He's had to miss some weeks for work and other things like that. With him being inside this top 5, top 3 every single week, it really would have been interesting to see how he would have done if he didn't have to miss so much. But man, Boss still showing he can get it done among the best here in the NNR Truck Series.
And that's one thing that you pointed out. He won last week at Iowa.
Yep.
Now coming here, and he's already putting himself in a podium position here at Dover. He could be a guy to sneak his way back into victory lane. Hey, 2 sneaky wins in a row. I'd be down for it. It'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to talk to him after that one.
Yeah, Boss, he's always a lot of fun. I know I've said it before. A guy out of Nassau, Bahama. He lives on the Mediterranean. He's got the crystal blue water, white sand. He lives where a lot of people go to vacation. I'd love to wake up to that kind of scenery every morning. Now I don't know if he lives higher up on a cliff or if he's down wherever. I don't know. But man, that's got to be something. He's got that Caribbean accent, and he's just an overall chill guy to talk to. But oh, by the way, fast on these tracks.
Like you mentioned, very, very fast. I've had the pleasure of being able to race with him in several places, including the Shadow Racing League, which you broadcast all the time, that being on Sundays at 5:30. But he's a great overall driver. He knows when to be aggressive. He knows when to be conservative. And he's one of those guys, he doesn't pull any punches. He lets you know how he races, and he makes sure that he puts his best foot forward anytime he gets behind the wheel. He's definitely a threat at any time we step in the trucks or the cars and try to go after a win.
Yeah, I mean, he is very, very fast, whether it's a road course, short track, intermediate, super speedway, cookie cutter, mile and a half. I mean, he's, Boss, he's just an overall racer. Glad to have him, love talking to him. And, you talk about the Shadow Racing League on Sunday about 5:30. Oh, by the way, King Mathers won that series last season. He's got a pair of tickets waiting for him to go to Daytona in August. And I asked Boss, I said, man, if you won those tickets, would you fly on up? He goes, absolutely. Never been to a NASCAR race, so it'd be pretty cool, I think, to hang out with Boss for that. But we're gonna keep going through the field and try to catch back up with our top 3 and those right behind. Right now, it really looks like the 21 and the 20, old Tenacious and Spoiled Milk, they have absolutely checked out. The 38, he's a little bit further back, 20 and the 21, just kind of keeping nose to tail right in each other's draft, and either pushing or pulling their way to try to gain a little bit more distance. I'm going to go ahead and try to catch the 38 and company right now. Yep, there we go. Riding along with right now with the 88 of Beast. He's got Shad right in front of him, and there is that 38 Crossley Ford riding right there in P3.
And, we talked about guys that may be a surprise a little bit ago when the field shook up, to guys that would be surprised to be up front. One guy that has impressed me, we've seen him improve bit by bit over the past few weeks, and now he's inside the top 10 after, I believe, DNFing the last two races. Blue Shirley, sitting right here in this 78 Gatorade Toyota. He's going to be he's one guy that has improved over the past few weeks. You really don't see him up front, but for him to get inside the top 10, that's got to be a big confidence boost and shows that all of his hard work is paying off. Right now, he's looking to try to battle his way up here to try to get himself in position to possibly go up there and challenge for a top 5.
Well, talking about Blue Shire, he actually just got a little awkward loose and plugged that inside wall. It doesn't really look like he's got a whole lot of damage. I'm sure I may not be able to see it all, although it could have been a little bit of lag too, because looking at the 4 hood pins on the front end of this Gatorade 78, they are all sticking right up. I don't see where the hood is buckled, as we still see a little bit of lag out of everybody. 52 to his inside, I believe that's Mike T and Blue, and then the truck that's right in front of both of these guys still having some issues. Commando Grip out there saying Bowen's going to charge back up there and win this. Mark my words. And Expert, yeah, I certainly hope not another case of the commentator's curse. We definitely never wish harm to any of these guys. It just kind of happens when you go through the field.
And it's very unfortunate. I always feel bad when that happens. It's just one of those things that just gets you right in the gut, trying to hype him up. He's worked so hard to get to this point and just trying to show off what he's been able to do. It's very unfortunate when something like that happens. It definitely not the best feeling when you kind of jinx them like that. But somebody who we never can seem to jinx, it seems like, NNR Bowling in that 38 Crossley F-150. He's sitting right here in third, and he is tiptoeing up there to that top 2. It's just what's that old Tony Stewart saying? Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
There you go. I remember that, absolutely. And it looks like Bowling he's been able to gap third and fourth. Again, that's going to be the 99 and the 88 of Beast. As you see, a little bit of a gap now between Beast and Shadowlack. So Bowling, could he be doing exactly what Commando Grip said he was going to do out there in chat? Going to go ahead and charge his way on up. The next time Cape comes across the start stripe, I'll go ahead and grab a lap count. And oh, by the way, as I look at Cape's information, his fuel light just came on, so he's got 2 laps to go. We're going to be looking at green flag pit stops here within the next lap or so. And at the line, it's showing me 85 laps to go to call this one official, with just 2 weeks left after this. You called it earlier, Texas and Darlington to wrap up the regular season.
And those are 2 wild tracks within itself. Not necessarily short tracks, but tracks that can get pretty risky at times. We've seen how crazy Darlington can be, especially with the corner exits and how tight the corners is. It's almost impossible to pass there in the corners. But when you go to Texas, infamous turn number 4, where you can barely at times stand on the throttle on exit. Sometimes you have to lift off, or you're going to be pulling a page out of Dan the Longman's book, and you're going to be cutting some of that grass.
Yeah. Dan the Lawman could be pretty pissed off next week as he catches these Truck Xfinity and witnessing those Cup guys really just take chunks out of that trial at Texas Motor Speedway. absolutely. The turn 4 is very, very sensitive at Texas. If you don't hit that bottom line just right and steer off the corner rather than just let the car, whip out and come off that way, you're gonna spend a lot of time, seeding that grass afterwards in order to get it back in pristine shape. Man, there's no doubt in my mind when we get there next week, we are going to see a lot of dirt fly. It's almost going to be like those guys are out there in modifieds or in those 405s or sprint cars or whatever, just ripping that grass up. They call it the Lone Star State. It's going to be kind of a little bit of a grassless state, I think.
Well, I mean, they do say everything's bigger in Texas, and that action next week when these trucks, Xfinity cars, and Cup cars take the green flag all at Texas. Trust me, that action is going to be very big as well as these guys. We already have our first 2 going into pit road.
Yep, I was actually just working through. See the 78, he's down on the apron. He's pulling into pit road, trying to woe it up to 35 miles per hour. And you see the top 4 right in front of him, including the 2021. There's the 99. There's the 88 of Beast right in front. So Blue Shirey doing pretty good, keeping up with a lot of these leaders. But this 4 truck length distance that he's got between him and the 88, that equals half the track at least on pit road when these guys go back green. Never mind the amount of time that's going to be different in the RNG on these pit stops. So we'll try to keep up with everybody the best we can. Right now, looks like with Cape out there already, he's right with the leader. So we're going to go ahead and try to find Cape right now and see exactly who he's trailing as these guys go around. So looks like it was going to be the 99 of Cadillac yet to come in. Expert, he could be hoping that maybe if he stays out just a little bit, that maybe there'll be a caution. Riding the apron, it used to be a week in and week out occurrence in NNR. That was the way that you had to pull off the track in order to go down pit road. This year, Coey and J-Pa and Swats, they kind of taken it easy on the guys. Said, you know what, at most tracks, just go ahead and pit off before and come on in. So everybody right now doing a good job. Green flag pit stops just about done, I think, and we'll find out who our leader is once it's all set to go.
I believe the 21's going to cycle back out to the lead here as these guys are completing this cycle currently. He's been able to get a pretty good gap to that 20 Silverado right behind him, and then behind them it's a pack of 3 here. The 99 of Cadillac, the 88 of TGM Beast, and the 38 of NNR Bowling, all in a row to complete the top 5.
Yep, riding with that 21 right now, Tenacious Z as your leader. John Fry out there saying, let's go Cape. Cape was doing pretty well first to pit, so he's out there on the newest tires, but not able to complete it all. He's right now sitting about P10, 75 laps to go here at Dover. Miles the Monster's been pretty easy going with these guys since stage 3 started. Really haven't seen anybody lag out. Haven't seen anybody have any real big issues. We still have everybody that started this race on track, Expert.
Yeah, and with 74 laps to go, it's been a lucky time for a lot of these guys. But some guys have drawn the short end of the stick as well. And right now, Miles is probably just sleeping off all the action that happened in stage 1 and 2. But you know what? These trucks might get a little bit rowdy before the end of this one, and might wake that monster back up. So I wouldn't shut the door on any chaos happening just yet. We still have a long way to go.
Yeah, we're talking a springtime race. Miles the Monster, no hibernation for him. He is good to go. A little bit of lag there. See the 99, 38, and 88 all go up and smack that outside wall. But again, no harm, no foul. Lag damage is not real damage. So they're going to be able to keep this green, keep it clean. Nobody spun off that. Everybody had a little bit of separation. So we're gonna keep this going. Right now, still the 21 of Tenacious Z, which I believe was Ball's pick. He's trying to get this done, and so far it looks like he's been able to hold on. Still going through the field, not a whole lot of action right now, as what always happens, or seems to always happen, after pit stops. The field very, very spread out, Expert.
And with the field being as spread out as it is, you mentioned these guys are going to eventually have to try to go through lap traffic, especially with how fast that 21 has been. These guys expect that to be an issue for them pretty soon. Right now, a focus of mine, though, is you have to keep an eye on that 38. Right now, he's all over the back bumper, the 99 of Cadillac for P number 3. If he gets around him, watch him to start trying to eat into that gap the 20 and 21 both have on that second pack.
Well, I mean, right now, we saw this tandem earlier. The 99 of Cadillac leading the 38 of Bowling. Eventually, they said, you know what, Bowling, you're faster. Go on, and let's see if we can make up any time with me leading. We'll have to see if they remember that. As you see the 99 pull up high, 38 getting on by. Both of them doing a great job keeping it out of that wall. It looks like the 23 of Cape's going to go ahead and pull on over. Let these guys go. He doesn't want to impede, any progress that they might be able to make trying to run down that 21 of Tenacious. And in fact, it looks like Cape has had enough of his ill-handling truck. He's going to bring it down pit road, tighten that beast up one more time, and try to come on back out. I think maybe some adjustments that he got placed under the stage brake might have just been a little bit too far, not able to hold on to that. But just as we saw earlier, Cadillac got passed by the 38. 38's pulling away. 99 not yet able to keep up.
And right now, that 99 is going to have to try to pull something as far as a different line, or try to somehow hold on to that draft to be able to stay with him. Not sure if it's going to be able to happen, but you can already see the difference that battle in traffic made on that 38 speed. He has just ate into that 20's lead over him so far, and I can only imagine how small the gap or how fast he's eating into the gap between him and that 21.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing a phenomenal job. I mean, Commando Grip, he's been all about the 38 of Bowling out there in chat since they took the initial green to start off the race. So, he is the spring, if you want to call it that, Dover winner. He won by a large margin. So obviously Bowling knows how to get around Dover. He obviously knows how to win. He's been the series' most dominant driver. As you said earlier, and I've said in past broadcasts, past races, he's got a hand on that trophy, possibly two mathematically, but we'll have to see. After tonight, there's still 8 races to go. Texas Darlington, and then we kick off the 6-race championship finale. And man, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Have to see exactly how Bowling gets it done. In fact, you know what? Coming down turn 4, once Bowling gets to that start stripe, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go ahead and crank it up for, say, maybe a good old 2 laps. Here we go. Coming off of 4 at the line, turn that knob up. Not too shabby for a concrete canyon. These guys, man, they're doing all right. Yeah, we talked about Bristol earlier. We talked about Iowa. We talked about the mixture of the two creating Dover International Raceway. Yeah, double the size of Bristol, 33-degree banking, very, very tall. I mean, man, and Cinepuse hit on it earlier about the launch-off points of turn 1 and turn 3, where you got to go down into the soup bowl, I guess we can call it, all the way around the corners, and then you got to climb the hill back up again to get to both of these straightaways. It's got to be pretty taxing, and man, if you hit that just wrong, you might be eating a lot of that wall.
And that is certainly the truth for a lot of these guys. That's what's caused a lot of incidents here tonight, is guys just slamming the outside wall for 2 and 4, or hitting the seam and getting loose and hitting that inside wall. So a lot of questions here. One thing that's happened so far is, the 20 just moves the 78, and I was about to talk about that. The 78 held up the 21 so much, it basically cut his gap to second in half. And now when he finally got around the 78 almost did the same thing to the 20, and the 20 just said, not me, I got somewhere to be. And now he's looking to close in on that 21. That gap's just getting a little bit smaller now.
Absolutely, getting into the corner, you can definitely see where the 20 of Spoiled Milk makes up quite a bit of time. And coming off right in the draft of that 21, here he comes again, pulling just a little bit. There is actually a bit of a draft here, and if you can keep that bottom line, keep that rear end loose, and really allow that right rear to dig, as you just saw off 3 and 4, he made up a full truck length. So it really looks like Spoiled Milk in this 20 machine might really have this truck lined up for the long run. He is all over the back end of that 21. And Bowling, he's not too far off. He can see the battle between these two, and he's got to be liking what they see right now as they're side by side, because that's going to allow him to pull up even more.
Yeah, and he's already caught. Now that gap that was between the 21 and the 20, that's basically the gap now to the 38. I mean, he was a whole straightaway behind, 10 laps ago?
Yep. Yeah, Commando Grip, he called it. He said Bowling was going to flat out run them down, and he has done just that. He didn't have the draft. He didn't have 2 or 3 cars to work with. As you see, a little bit of a battle. 20 got underneath the 21, and here comes Bowling right on by. He loved the contact between those two, forced them both up track. 38 Crossley Ford to the lead. Bowling back in a very, very comfortable and very, very familiar spot. P1.
I told you he was going to drive like a short track. I'm just going to go ahead and here and say that that contact between the 20 and 21, the 21 just said, no, you're not getting around me. I'm going to pinch you down low on the straightaway. And that 20 just flat out said, yeah, not going to happen. And he sent him like no tomorrow. This is what I mean when it drives like a short track, and we can already see Iowa tempers, now Dover tempers. It's flaring. And talking about Iowa rivalry from that race that is carrying over to this one, that top 2 certainly does look familiar, Pete.
Yes, it does. I mean, we're not even talking about Iowa tempers. This goes back. I mean, before Bristol, there were some issues, and everybody's like, oh, guess where we're going next? If I hit you, it's just short track racing. And then we went over to Iowa. Guess what? More short track racing. We're not done yet. And then we get on over here to Dover, and even more. So we'll have to see. Nobody likes getting roughed up. Looks like we're going to have a few takers coming on down pit road. The 20, very, very fast, trying to get around the 13. He actually went back up on track trying to get that 20 Hair Club for Men Chevy woed up. That, man, they go back and they review that. It could be a penalty. They'll have to take a look. But man, more and more leaders and those further in the field on pit road. Yet one more time with 50 laps to go. they will all have to make one more pit stop. They get 33 laps per tank.
And one thing, if that is a penalty, one thing to look at is him and the 21 also did it on the previous green flag stop as well. So that's 2 times in a row. That could be a loophole that they were able to. Hey, you have to enter and say that you're going down pit road off of 4. Does it say you can't come back up?
You
so
got that right. Well, actually, yeah. Once they make contact with the apron, they're supposed to do everything in their power to keep it down there. I don't recall that in this year's rules, but in last year's rules, they had to keep it down. If they came back up, it could have been a penalty. If they came back up and made contact, I believe it was a trip down pit road. I could be wrong. You know, Google's got all those fact checkers out there. Let them go ahead and fact check me. Don't fact check me because that is what it is. But fact check me. Be my guest. But yeah, that could be something that comes back and haunts them if they go back and they watch this, or if anybody else calls them out on it. If in fact they've also read it.
Right now, I'm going to go ahead and try to find this just to make sure for these guys. I do not see anything actually in the entire rule book. Let me see. Here under pitting, under green, going to be looking at this.
Well, never mind. You ain't got to worry about Master Killer out there.
Yep.
Says I won't think they get a penalty. So thank you very much, MK. Good to see you out there, bud. Thanks for helping us out. You are always a gentleman and a scholar. And if I don't get to talk to you tomorrow night before the Xfinity race, good luck, buddy. You and the entire hashtag JPA Militia, always forever strong as Q-Dog continues to lead that the point series. I'm sorry, lead the points in the Xfinity series, which you and I will be calling again tomorrow, right back here from Dover at 100% race. Yeah. Stout Whiskey, what's happening, buddy? Good to hear from you.
See, I got Pete, I got good news and I got bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
As The Rock always said, you know I love my veggies first.
Well, this is the first thing. Oh, well, okay, I almost lost it there for a second. My Discord almost messed up. Good news, we're about to have one heck of a battle for the lead. Bad news, the guy, once again, that has shown so much speed here this evening. An unfortunate thing happened at Bristol to him, and now coming here to Dover, it happens again. That 21 Tech speeding on pit road. He got held down there for a little while longer, and he is outside of this battle. I believe he might be at the tail end of that top 10.
Well, man, we've seen it. I thought you were about to tell me that the 38 got tagged for speeding once again. He's done that, and of course, I'm guilty of it as well. But man, it's a shame when that happens this late in the race. Yes, Stout, these guys have been absolutely putting on one hell of a show. You just missed one hell of a pass. The 20 and the 21 battling very, very hard, getting into the corner. The 20 looks underneath the 20. They push each other up track a little bit. And here comes old Bowling skating right on by that bottom line, able to go from P3 to P1 in half a turn. And he's still got the lead going down the backstretch, heading in through 3 and 4. That Crossley machine looks just about as hooked up as he ever did earlier in the race. And oh, by the way, he's now got a beast running P2.
TGMBs, talk about Bristol. Talk about our Bristol winner right here, and P number 2. And we've talked about it several times this evening, and I got to mention it one more time about the similarities between Bristol and Dover. Once again, we're seeing the guys that did well there. Here they come here, and you can see the guys that definitely are proving themselves tonight to be good at different tracks and such, as far as spoiled milk. And once again, TGM beats the Bristol winner, like I said, and of course the always competitive NNR Bowling.
Yeah, Combat Beast out there saying, and Bowling checks out now. So we'll have to see. I mean, Bowling, he has faltered a little bit. He hasn't had this what he's been known for throughout the season as that long run speed. He's run a few people down, but he hasn't. It hasn't lasted the entire time. So we'll have to see if that holds true for Bowling. He's definitely seen. We've definitely seen him get loose, very very loose later on, where some others have remained strong as the race has gone on. Combat Beast out there, he is disagreeing with. I'm sorry, Master Killer. He's disagreeing with Combat. Master Killer's all about that 21. And as we talk about, hashtag JPA Militia, there is old JPA out there in chat dropping 88 bits for driver 88. Old TGM Beast again, still sitting P2. Let's actually go ahead and pick up on that pale blue, beautiful truck and see what he's got as far as in his rear view and right out his sights. Right out his sights, he sees, I believe that's going to be Bossy Geo. If I'm not mistaken, he might have had some problems. And then I believe he's got the 20 right in his rear view. But the good news is most of the track is in his rear view.
And right now, like you mentioned, all these guys getting spread out from each other. The closest battle when it comes to up front, it does look like it's the 88 and 20, but it's going to be a little while before these guys, of course, get fully together. And now I'm looking at the 38, of course, with how much he's checked out. The big question you mentioned before, does he have the long run speed? Is there anything that's going to happen? Right here, I believe these guys are coming to, let me get a lap count here. These guys are coming to 33 to go. The leader just hit 33 to go right here. And the big question for them is Miles the Monster finally saying, all right, enough's enough, I've given up? Or is there a few more trucks that might get thrown around today?
Yeah, Cinepu's out there in chat said he had some internet issues. That's why he had to bail from the booth. Well, Cinepu's, man, thank you very much. Hopefully, watching the first and I believe you were here for most part of stage number 2. Hopefully it helps you out tomorrow night when the Xfinity guys, they try to knock down Miles the Monster. Maybe cut him down at the knees a little bit. We'll have to see. But still going through. I see that 99 Carolina Nut Ford F-150 is looking a little. Oh, there he goes. Okay, I was going to say, man, he's looking a little still. Didn't see him moving around at all. So something must have happened for this 99 to come on down pit road. They all had to pit one more time. Did he just pit as soon as he got into his window? Maybe trying to gain max time on everybody else with those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods coming on back out, and just try to gain everything that he needed to compared to the lead that they had on him. We'll have to see how that works out for Shadowlack. He is a top contender week in and week out, so we'll have to see. Stout Whiskey talking about let's go SWAT. SWAT's actually won stage 2 Stout. So yeah, he did very, very well. Was able to navigate himself through a wreck and came home P1 in stage 2. So some very much needed stage points for that 51 Rowdy Energy truck. Still working our way through here, Expert. What you got?
Right now, I'm looking at the 20. We saw the long run speed that he had, but it just seems to have fallen off. He's lost a lot of time to the 88. Currently sitting behind that 00 of Bossy Geo, who is one down. And he has, I believe that's going to be the either the 13 or the 99 right behind him. Actually, it's going to be the 99 of Shadlack, who is currently one down as well, sitting P12. He's surrounded by lap cars at this point, some with fresher tires than him, and it just seems like that long run speed he had earlier has just fallen off.
Well, Shad, again, he just came out of the pits. So he got on by the 20 of Spoiled Milk. He said, man, I'm on new tires. Please let me go. Right now, he's to the inside of Bossy Gio. He should be able to pull on away from him as well. But when the 99 went on by, it kind of put Bossy Gio at a little bit of a disadvantage and allowed the 20 to go ahead and really pull on up to the back bumper of that 00. So they are back nose to tail. 99 doing everything that he can possibly do to gain as many spots and as much track position as he can, while the 38, while the 20, while the 21, while everybody else, the 88 stay out. As they come down to 26 to go, I think what he saw is what I kind of caught on to when he was down pit road. He pit as soon as he knew he could make it on gas.
And that's going to be the big question on if these guys can't make it. When do they pit?
Maybe they're waiting on that caution. We'll have to see. I mean, we've seen some cautions throughout. Well, we saw like one or two in stage 2. Saw a couple manual cautions, but it's really all about staying out as long as you can, as long as that right front tire will allow. Again, in stage 1, it was all about really trying to conserve that right front, diving down into the corner. Fuel was not an issue whatsoever. I believe when we saw Cape going down pit road, he had about 19% left on his right front, and he still had 4 or 5 laps left in the tank. But I'm sure he was watching as that right front was getting eaten away. And oh, by the way, as TGM Beast just crossed the entrance to pit road, 38 Crossley Ford of Bowling was just going down for his last service.
And that's going to open up a lot of questions for these guys. Still a long way to go. There's no way these guys could save that much fuel to be able to make it to the end. Right now, that 20 is Spoiled Milk. He's going to be heading down now to go get service as well. So you can see the leaders coming up. The question is, 4 tires versus 2. Can you make it on 2? How much fuel do you need to make it to the end? Can you take 1 can? Can you take 1.5? Can you just take half a can? What type of strategy and what doors are open for these guys to be able to try to go and try to win themselves a race here?
Well, I'll tell you what, if they've done any practice this week, getting ready for this race, getting closer and closer to the playoffs, you're going to have to go ahead and make sure that you test out that scenario. If you take 2, you've got to obviously adjust the wedge in order to not get loose. And oh, by the way, along with the wedge, you've got to adjust your right rear air pressure. If you've got that jacked up, to use that to advance yourself off of turn number 4. So if they practiced it, I'd try to go for 2, gain the track position. When we saw the 99 of Cadillac come in, as soon as he knew he'd be able to make it on fuel, he was clearly down there for 4. And oh, by the way, making up a whole lot of ground on track. We saw him passing people left and right. So he did his thing. He made his bed. Caution is out. Some guys on pit road. Question will be, were they trapped there? We're going to take a quick little break, guys, and we're going to be right back for the final laps. Y'all want to know how to follow NNR? Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that, and then, yeah, we're going to be right back.
Hey NNR fans, don't miss any of the action by following or subscribing to Repeat's Twitch channel. Turn on notifications and you'll always know when the best preset league on Xbox hits the track. Check out his YouTube channel too to see all of NNR's past races. Follow No Name Racing as well as Repeat 1975 and others on Twitter, and you'll never miss any of the action.
All right, expert. We're stacking them back up, possibly. Who knows? For maybe the last time. 88 of Beast, and it looks like it's going to be 51 of Swats. He just came down and grabbed those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. Look at third place. It's going to be the 98 of Papa Bear. 21 of Tenacious Z. He started P4, laying that hammer down, a little bit of contact back there, and that is going to stack up the whole field. Miles will be eating very, very well tonight.
And big contenders, it's like deja vu once again. 20 and 38 both caught up in that wreck. These guys, I believe both would have been on the lead lap. Actually, no Spoiled Milk
could have had the opportunity to get the wave around if he wasn't in that wreck, and unfortunately him getting involved loses him too many spots. He's going to stay one lap down. NNR Bowling, though, might get another chance here to go for the win, as he's going to be starting back up front in 5th.
I tell you what, that 78 Blue Shirey, he showed bits of speed earlier. It was actually him, not the and Swats was up there as well. So your top 5 right there was Beast, Tenacious, and just as I was about to go through, it kind of went away. But Blue was in there as well. Going to work our way back up to the top. 98 of Pop Bear now is your control truck. The 88 of Beast. Then we got the 21, the 38 of Bowling. And I believe that's going to be the 51 of SWAT sitting there in P5. Back under green at the line. 12 laps to go, Expert.
And with 12 laps to go, we thought it was wild before. Watch it be even more wild now. 38 contact with the outside wall. These guys fanning out down the back straightaway, trying to find a place. Hey, if you can make your nose fit, see if you can fit the rest of it. Here we go, side by side for a bunch of these guys down the front straightaway. And that 98 has gone out and become the leader here at Dover. And then our Papa Bear, he could win himself one here tonight.
Let's go, Papa Bear! Man, I tell you what, this guy has gotten better and better with all the seat time that he's gotten throughout all last year in the NNR trucks. This year, running turn down for what on Saturday nights, now Sunday nights with the turn down for what truck series, getting all kinds of pressure, all kinds of contact from the 21. Here comes the 88 of Beast. Hashtag JPOM Militia. Down low, he's got that 38 Crossley Ford F-150 in his rear. The 98 looks like he got shoved up high. Now first through third, it's going to be the 21, 88. Pop Bear's going to find a spot there in P4. Here comes the 51 of SWATs down low. Top 4 single file. We'll have to see what they're going to be able to do as far as spacing, how much they can gap on back to the 99 and others. 21's leading the way, 3 and 4.
And right here in chat, Commander Griff says it's going to be who can get past the front 2 first, the 21 and the 38. Well, 21's out there in the lead. 38's dealing with TGM Beast. 3 wide behind them to settle out the top 5. More contact, 16, 98, 51, all making contact. Papa Bear's going to back out of it, and he makes contact with the wall. And here we go, all stacking up behind them. Guys fanning out on the back straightaway near 3, 4 wide here behind them.
Yeah, 4 wide. I tell you what, they are all over the place in the back. Every single point matters right now. The guy that's looking to grab max points is going to be that 21, getting my way back up to him right now. Tenacious Z has the whole field in his rear view. Everybody fighting for every single spot. The 88 of B sitting in P number 2. That 38 Crossley Ford sitting in P number 3. At the line right there. So far, the 21 able to hold off. 6 laps remaining. Getting a little bit of a gap back. We've seen this 21 have clean air before. Can he seal the deal, Expert?
And I think he can. We saw his speed in stage number 1. He was our stage 1 winner. And now coming around, he's proven it once again here in clutch time. 5 laps to go this time by here for that 21. Let's see what he can do as far as holding off this field. Can that 88 catch him, though, is going to be the big question.
We've seen the 38 behind others before, namely the 99 of Shadowlack. Once the 38 got by, he had a little bit of breathing room, was able to catch on back up to the lead. There we go, on by the 88. Now the 51 of SWATs, he's going to stay right where he was. He's got a new truck in front. Have to see if that helps him. Hopefully it doesn't hurt him. But now can the 38 of Bowling, who's shown to be fast, particularly on the short run, can he run back down that 21 and do what he was able to do earlier by getting on by him on the high side, by pinching him down? Can he do that in shorter order? Before it took him many laps to be able to work on by, until he figured out he had to pinch him on down to the low side to keep the momentum on the high side, keep that 21 from getting back in the throttle, and the 38 was able to take the lead. We'll have to see here in the closing laps if he learned from that. If he did, he might have had the chance, but first he's got to catch him.
And right here coming to 2 to go, I wouldn't count out this 88 either. He's pushing that 38 up through there. 38's finally there as we've officially hit 2 to go here And next time it's going to be the white flag. A lot of guys up here. You don't want to count any of them out. Heck, I'll even throw that 51 of SWATs back there in the mix if these guys get caught up in a wreck. He's sitting in fourth right now. And right now, off of turn number 4, coming to the white flag. 38 all over the back bumper. The 21, 88's pushing the 38. He's going to try to see if he can catch these guys in a mistake. 38's looking for any type of room here on the final lap. 88's all over that back bumper. Here we go, one final time, heading into 3 and 4. They're side by side. 88's going to look for the room. He's going to move the 38 up for second, but nobody's going to have anything off of turn number 4. Off of 4, Tenacious will win here at Dover.
Yeah, Tenacious knocks it out. 88 with a very, very strong run. Coming home, P number 2, Bowling P3. NNR SWATs with a very, very strong P number 4 finish. His brother Shadowlac right behind him. Bossy Geo showing again why he's the pride of the Bahamas, sitting at P number 6. And looks like it's going to be Papa Bear 7th. Phenomenal finish for him. He's going to be the last car on the lead lap. Classic Stew, Spoiled Milk, and Mike T to round out your top 10. Congratulations to the 21. Way to get it done. Way to hold off those hard chargers for the W. Congratulations. Woo! What a race. What a finish. Way to get after it for everybody.
And it was definitely great.
Throwing 21 bits out there. Buddy, thank you very much for commemorating the 21's W. Way to get out there. Cinepuse, thank you very much for another 100 bits. Buddy, you're welcome to the booth anytime. Like I told you, sorry you had those internet issues, but glad you were able to log back in and come on out to catch a fantastic race to the end. I'm going to go ahead and back out of it. I don't want to go to Dover. Guys and gals, we're going to allow these 3 to get their cool-down laps done, and then we will be right back with post-race interviews. Stay put, please. All right, we're going to do something just a little bit different here. We're actually just going to go ahead and roll with our winner tonight. So we got driver old 21 here. Actually, nope, scratch that. Hold on. One second, guys. Sorry, technical difficulty. All right, there we go. So now we got our second and first place, unable to catch up with bowling. But so Beast, you in that beautiful pale blue, baby blue, sky blue, whatever color blue you want to call it, probably one of my favorites out there. You were absolutely strong. You had Master Killer, you had J-Paw, you had a few others out there pulling for you all the way through. Take us through those closing laps after that caution, and you had to be grateful that you weren't caught a lap down right there.
Yeah, I was one of the lucky few. That caution came out as soon as I hit my pit box. So I was pretty fortunate that happened, along with 3 or 4 other guys. But on that last restart, things were a little chaotic. A lot of going back and forth, and then it was very close coming to the line at the checkered.
Well, man, you definitely fought your way through. You weren't up within the lead pack for the entire night. Sometimes you found yourself relegated outside of the string of 3, 4, and sometimes 5 trucks that were nose to tail, utilizing the draft to pull away. Seemed to maybe have some similar setups. What did you have to change to that 88 throughout the night in order to be right where you wanted to be at the end of the race?
Well, I really didn't have top 3 speed all night. I wouldn't even say I had top 5 speed. That last stage kept it no mistakes. That's what got me second. But yeah, most of the race, it was track position and then just not having the speed to really track down guys.
Well, man, one hell of a job all weekend, and both turned out for what and Shadow. Adding this to more seat time, adding it to your resume. Congratulations one more time. Of course, I know that hashtag JPaw Militia shout outs out there. Go ahead, bud. What you got for shout outs tonight?
You, Pete, for broadcasting every week. It's great that you do it. I love it. And shout out to SWATs, bowling, sticking everything through. Hopefully we can get this caution problem resolved next week. Hoping that's the plan.
Well, man, definitely wish you luck. We got two more races before we hit those playoffs. We got Texas next week, followed by Darlington, and then we get into that 6-week playoff stretch. Definitely wish you all the luck, buddy. Talk to you again very, very soon. Who knows? Maybe right back here next week. 1 or 2 spots up. We'll have to see. Congrats.
Thank you, Pete.
You got it. Oh, expert, why don't you see if you can get a word with our buddy Tenacious?
All right, I got him right here in Victory Lane. Tenacious, you came out. You showed why you're one of the best guys at these intermediate and short track style tracks here. We compared Bristol and Dover to each other so much tonight. You're so good at Bristol, and you come here and show that you're so good at Dover as well. So what did it take for you to be able to hold off those hard charging guys behind you down the stretch?
Just grip. I knew they were faster than me on the long run, so if I knew that I could hold the bottom and make them pass me on the outside, that I had a fighting chance to stick out and stay in front of them, and it showed.
It certainly did, and overall there was a lot of strategies that came down. What was the key, do you think, getting you that track position? Was it the caution during the green flag run, or what do you think was the overall moment during that race that really put everything in place for you to go out there and seal the deal?
Oh, it was definitely that caution when everybody was in their pit sequence. I stayed out, and I was actually about to pit that lap, and I just got into a truck that got loose off of 2, and it spun me out. Like, he came down and crashed my nose, so I was the reason that caution. I hate it for everybody who was pitting, but that was the break that I needed, to be honest.
Overall, still a great performance. You came away with stage 1 win and come away with the overall win. Any shout outs from our winner here tonight at Dover?
Yeah, I want to shout out to everybody in the booth. You, Pete, do a great job broadcasting the races. I want to give a good old shout out to 10 Vols, my boy Terry. I know he's probably one of my biggest fans in NNR, so I'm sure he is bouncing up and down in Korea cheering me on for this. I want to shout out to Spoiled, being my little practice buddy before the races. Me and him kind of work together in other leagues. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, overall, congratulations, man. And Pete, go ahead, take it away.
Man, I tell you what, one hell of a race tonight. We had a few moments of nothing really going on, and like I said during those times, it always happens right between or right after we send everybody or everybody goes down pit road. You get that separation. Dover, we had about 15, 17 trucks out on track tonight. Not too bad of a race whatsoever. Beast, any closing remarks about what we saw tonight? You already talked earlier tonight about what we're going to see from Texas, or what we could possibly see from that low line coming off of turn 4 at Texas next week, which usually sends a lot through the grass. What'd you catch from tonight?
Well, it's a lot of great. Sorry about that. Did you say beast or expert?
I'm sorry, expert. I apologize.
Oh, it's all right, man. But either way, it's going to be a wild one. I got to say that transitioning, we've gone from 3 straight short tracks to now transitioning to Texas. These guys, it's going to be all about being able to keep that truck together on the long run. We've talked about turn 4, and we've talked about what we can see. And hey, the big question is, short track tempers, you expect them to stay at the short tracks. But this is all the stuff that we've seen so far in these past 3 weekends. That's going to stick in the back of some of these guys' minds. And when it comes down to desperation, trying to get into the playoffs, expect guys to remember that in these final 2 races of the season.
Absolutely. I mean, 3. You could just say. I mean, Dover. Yeah, Dover's a mile long. Absolutely short track mentality. 3 short tracks in a row. What more can you say about it? But you gotta try to leave your tempers at the door. Come on in, put down your best performance, and come out with the best possible result. But man, that is gonna lock it down for tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night the Xfinity guys right back here from the Monster Mile. Gonna see who evades Miles the Monster tonight. All about that 21 Tenacious Z. He's going to be lifted up by Miles while he's got a whole bunch of others nuts and bolts in his mouth. And yeah, bad night for some. Others celebrating in victory lane. We're definitely going to see you guys back tomorrow night. Same bat channel, different bat time, 8:30 Eastern. In the meantime, we'll see you somewhere else around the track. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and send a big old raid over to a buddy of mine, old Sigma Irvin. For anybody that's been around for a while, NNR Sigma, yeah, let's go ahead and pick up on him, see what he's up to. He says he's over on iRacing, so we definitely wish him luck. We'll see y'all tomorrow night. Have a good night. Later, everybody.